Hello all, welcome to the Mastering Up YouTube channel. Today in the Foundations in Plant Physiology and Anatomy, we are going to have class about root structure and role of root hair in absorption. Okay, so let's start with our class. First, understanding the vital role of roots in plant health. So how these roots are helping. We are going to identify, the main objective is to understand the vital role of roots in plant health. That is, we are going to identify how this root is helping in the physiological functions happening in the plants, and in turn that gives the increases the health of the plant. Okay, so our objective already discussed, to study about the root structure. So what we will be going to study in this class is, we are going to study about the root structure, type of roots, function of root hair in absorption. First, what is root? I think you all know the roots are the underground part of the plant. Okay, so in a plant, root will be the structure that is present in the underground part of the plant. Here, roots are the underground part of the plant that anchors it and absorbs water and nutrients. Okay, so this plant, we can say that they are standing upright in the ground, right? So this is happened because these roots are anchoring these plants, and roots are supporting this plant to anchoring it to the water, soil. So roots, they grab the soil and keep the plants upright. So the roots are the underground part of the plant that anchors it and absorbs water and nutrients. So that was the definition. Now, type of root. Okay, so there are basically two types of roots, that's taproot and fibrous root. I have given example. Okay, so taproot is present in radish, carrot and all, and fibrous root, it is present in grass. So basically you can see the diagram here. This is a taproot and this is fibrous root. Taproot, there is a main root and branches, other small roots are being they are being developed from this main root. Okay, so but in the fibrous root, these all roots start from a single point. Okay, so from this you can see that this fibrous root, they anchors to the soil more strongly than this taproot, because this fibrous root, they are spreading over all area, right? So it will be difficult to pull off this plant. But in case of taproot, there is a long elongated main root will be there, and from those root, the secondary roots are being developed. Okay, so root branches are being developed. Okay, so another main example is that this fibrous root, they are present on grasses and all, in which in the leaves which have parallel venation. Parallel venation means, here in this leaf, it is a leaf of a taproot plant. So they have reticulate venation. That is, venation is like opposite direction. You can see one single vein is there, and opposite direction veins are being formed. But in taproot, it is like from one point, this whole veins are coming out. So just like in case of fibrous root, from one point whole roots are forming. Same in that way, in what we call grass and all, in leaf case, the venation, it is parallel venation. That is, all these veins are coming from one point. And just like in taproot, there is a main root is there, and from that this primary, secondary root branches are being produced. As in that case, same here, a single vein, and from that other veins are being produced. Also, just note that for remembering, I am going to tell you something. Just try to pull a small reticulate plant, like a weed or something, from a ground, and try to pull a grass. The pulling of grass out from the soil is more difficult than that of that weed, the weed which have this reticulate venation, this type of leaf, because these fibrous roots are being spread in all areas. That's why it is difficult to pull out from the soil. Okay, so that's all with the type of roots. There are two types of root, that is taproot, example in carrot; fibrous root, example in grass. Now the functions of root. What are the major functions? In the previous classes and all, we have discussed some of the functions, just mere discussion we had. So these functions of root, that is, first, absorption of water and minerals; second, anchoring the plant; third, storage of food; fourth, transport of nutrients. So Basically, absorption of water and minerals occur in a root. They absorb water and minerals from the soil and transport it to the higher parts of the plant. And it helps in anchoring or grasping the soil and keeping the plant upright. And storage of food, the food that is being produced in the leaf are being some of them are being stored on the root also. And then transfer of nutrients from different parts of the body. Now the structure of root. Okay, so let's go with the structure of root. So the root has main parts. That is, first one is root cap. From the below we can start root cap. It protects the growing tip. So the root cap protects the growing tip of the root. So while studying about the meristem, we said that apical meristem is both present in the upper part and the lower part. In the previous class we studied about meristem, right? So meristem is present in the upper part and lower part. So this meristem, apical meristem, is present in the root cap region. In the zone of cell division, apical meristem is present. From there this cell starts to divide and elongates. Okay, so the root cap, it protects the growing tip. Now the zone of division, this root is divided into 3 zones. Okay, so zone of cell division, zone of elongation, and zone of maturation. So the zone of cell division, region of actively dividing cell. Zone of elongation is the cells elongate and push the root forward. Okay, so the zone of maturation, cell differentiate into various tissues. So just look at the diagram. So these are the diagrams, structure of roots. So the regions of root are being divided into 3 main areas: region of maturation, region of elongation, and region of, here it is said at region of meristematic activity or region of maturation. Region of cell division. Okay, so regions of root. Region of meristematic activity, here the thin walled dividing cells are there. So the region of meristematic activity, there's thin walled dividing cells are there. That's why to protect that structure we have root cap. Now the region of elongation, responsive for the growth of root in length. Okay, so this apical meristem that is present here. Okay, so actually I told you earlier it's not present, but actually it is present here. Region of elongation. It is responsible for the growth of root in length. Now region of maturation. Root hair arises from this zone. So the root hairs arises from the region of maturation. So these root hairs are the tiny hairs that comes out from the root. Okay, comes out from the region of maturation of the root. Okay, so let's look into other topics. Structure of root. Okay, so the structure of root is internal structure. Root has external structure we discussed. Internal structure: epidermis, cortex, endodermis, and stele. Okay, so the epidermis will be the outer layer for protection. So this epidermal root hair are the elongation of this epidermal cells. Now cortex, they stores nutrients, and endodermis, they regulates water flow. And stele, they are the vascular cylinder. It contains xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem are responsible for the transport of minerals, nutrients, and food from water from different parts of the body, from one part of the body to another part. Okay, so they are the vascular structures. So what are the internal structures? We have epidermis, outer layer for protection; cortex, that store nutrients; endodermis regulates water flow; and stele, they are vascular cylinder, contains xylem and phloem. Now root hairs. What are root hairs? Root hairs are tiny hair-like structures on the root's epidermis. So root hairs are present on the root's epidermis. They are tiny hair-like structures. So the structure of a root hair, it is a single cell extension of epidermal cell. As I already told you, root hair are the single cell extensions of epidermal cells. They are thin walled to facilitate absorption. So this root hair, their major function is to absorb. So we said that the role of root is to absorb water, mineral, and nutrients. In the same way, like that in the root hair performs those functions. Okay, so it is root hair that absorbs, and for the facilitating the absorption, the root hair is made up of thin walls. Large surface area to increase the water and nutrient uptake. Okay, so these root hairs have large surface area. You can see their structure is like the elongated part. So they have a large surface area. Why they need large surface area? Because they need large surface area to increase water absorption and nutrient uptake. Okay, so just imagine if this is a root hair and water can be absorbed, water and nutrients can be absorbed from all these areas, right? So this is being said here, large surface area. Now location. So the root hair is found in the zone of maturation. These things we discussed in this previous slides. Now root hair, they are the key to absorption. I told you in the root hair are the structures that perform the absorption. So the role of root hairs in absorption function. They absorb water from the soil through osmosis. Osmosis, it's a process of transferring of liquids from one point to another. Transfer of solutions from one point to one between a wall, between a permeable semi-permeable wall. Okay, so that is osmosis, and they absorb minerals, nutrients via active transport. Active transport in the sense they need energy. So they first function is they absorb water from the soil through osmosis, and they absorb minerals and nutrients via active transport, and increase surface area for enhanced absorption that we discussed. Now the process. Water enters the root hair and travels through xylem. Minerals are selectively absorbed by root hairs. So water is being transported from root hairs to different parts of the body through xylem, and the minerals, they are selectively absorbed. Not all minerals are needed by the plant, so they are selectively being absorbed by the root hairs. The importance, essential, why root hairs are important? They are essential for the plant growth, development and survival. So these root hairs are very important for the physiological functions happening in the plant. So that's why they are essential for the plant growth, development and survival. Factors affecting root hair absorption. Let's see what are the factors that affect the absorption capacity of the absorption capability of the roots. So first, soil compaction. This is the stiffness of the soil. Okay, if the soil is very compact, it will be difficult for the root to absorb. So the soil absorption, compaction. Water availability. Water should be present for the root hairs to absorb the water. Okay, so the temperature, pH level of the soil, root hair health and density. So these all are the factors that affect the root hair absorption. Adaptations and specialized roots. Okay, so we can, when we look around, we can see that there are not only single type of plant, that the root is present on the underground portion and the stem is present on the upper portion. They are planted on the soil. Not now. There are aquatic plants, they have desert plants, there are some epiphytic plants, that is they are being attached to some other plants. Okay, so let's see how these roots are being specialized for the adaptations in different climatic conditions. For aquatic plants, root adapted for submerged environments. Okay, so in aquatic cases, the roots are being adapted in such a way that they can perform their functions in an underground submerged environment. And desert plants, they have deep roots. So the desert plants like cactus and all, they have deep root system so that they can uptake water and minerals from the deeper portion of the earth. And epiphytic plants, they have aerial roots for absorbing moisture from the air. So the epiphytic plants like in orchids and all, we can see that aerial roots are being present, that is roots above the ground is present, and this helps in absorbing moisture from the air. So these epiphytic plants, these orchids and all, they absorb moisture from the air. They don't take underground, they don't take water and minerals from the underground soil, they absorb it from the air. Now let's that's all with our class. Now let's go for the summary. What all we have discussed. Roots are vital for the plant health and survival. Root hair plays a crucial role in water and nutrient absorption. Various factors influence root hair efficiency, and specialized root adapt to different environments. Other than this, we discussed about the part of root. We discussed about the function of root, and mainly in this class we got to study about the root hair, their role, their factors that influence the root hair efficiency, and specialized structure of specialized root that are adapted to different environments. So that's all with the class. Thank you all. Hope to see you in the next class.